Being seen is safe. I was just having this conversation yesterday, and then it landed into quantum entanglement and why it's so important for us individually to do the work. And they go hand in hand. I'll be talking about it in more depth on my next YouTube video, Jennifer Rene, Withinbyjen. I will leave the link to it below. So, quantum entanglement in the ethers, in all layers, levels, dimensions, and timelines that we have walked, meaning all of your life experiences that you have ever been through. So let's just say relationships. This can be friendships, this can be husband and wife, this can be multiple husbands and wives, this could be boyfriend, girlfriend. If in any of those scenarios, in this waking moment, in this lifetime, if you have not honored yourself and the version of you that went through the relationship and then set it free, there's still a karmic loop, okay? And we talk about karma, but I want to talk about it in the laws of the universe. This is something that no one can escape. And so for me personally, I can honestly say that when I began to realize me holding on was only hurting not only myself, but it was also hurting the people that I loved. Because life always has a way of teaching us. And if we can trust God, source, universal creation, life itself, then we trust and know that everybody is going to learn for their highest trajectory timeline that their soul can handle. You're never going to get more. What is the verse that if God brings you to it, he'll bring you through it? Mother, Father, God. If life brings you to it, life is going to bring you through it. It's going to be teaching you bravery. It's going to be teaching you honesty. It's going to be teaching you courage. It could be teaching you humbleness. It could be teaching you compassion, tenderness, grace. It could be teaching you how to hold and love yourself. And so for many of us, that space is very, very prominent right now. And I was also talking to a friend yesterday because I have allowed myself to hold and nurture myself for the past 7 years. It'll be 7 years in August. And for that, I am eternally grateful because now I know when I can give and when I need to receive. And while the receiving on my end has been kind of in the confines of my own space of really honoring and loving, tender, nurture, care, being held, just allowing myself to be held in the deeper recesses of my mind, my body, my soul, it's allowed me to realize what connections I have still emotionally to others, how to remove those connections. And when I actually did that, I cried because I thought, oh my gosh, now me releasing this means that the laws of the universe are now set in place for everyone that I was emotionally attached to. And this can be emotional in heartbreak. This can be emotional in anger. This can be emotional in sadness of loss. This can be, I'm talking about the full emotional realm, the full spectrum. If it's still weighing on you and if it's still time, and what I mean by if you don't hear a person's name and smile in gratitude, then there probably could be still a little of emotional entanglement. And so by removing all of that, life could then happen. It's almost like then all the wheels everywhere start to spin accordingly. And there's no other scar left in our bodies that emotion can cling to. Because with a scar, if it's open, you know that it can be, it's more susceptible to wound, okay? So if you think about that at an emotional standpoint, if you're emotionally scarred and you don't handle the scar, we're just more susceptible. And so that's why for many of us, we're just walking scars, walking around, and we're susceptible to all the energy that tries to come in. Empaths, intuitives, whatever, there's so many terms being put on, light workers, star seeds, earth seeds, angelics, walking angelics, galactics, there's so many terms. It's just why we're here. It's the reason we're here. And so when we begin to honor that, we remove the scars, we honor ourselves, we become back in alignment, we become in alignment, we are, and then we truly just dance with life. It gets so easy, and then we're not afraid to talk about it and to be real anymore. So being seen for me meant being honest, being truthful, being transparent, and then knowing that I can stand up for myself. I can use my voice. I can speak my truth. I can stand in my power and not be worried any longer. And that for me has been the most miraculous offering that has been there through and through, but you have to accept it. You have to be willing to receive it. And then when we receive it, we are it. There is no separation. We're one with God, Source, Universal Consciousness. Our divine gifts are opened, are unlocked. We talk about the things that we went through, our testimony, the way we experienced the awakening journey. And for me, like I said, 7 years in the making love to my life, honoring myself. And I don't mean in any outward act. I mean nurturing, listening, preparing, honoring, tending to the garden within me, just like I've been tending to my garden outside, if you guys have seen any of those videos. So that's why the work is so important. The shadow work, the work here, the work on our scars, the work that most people in the external world don't want to talk about because they're trying to avoid the truth. The truth is buried in the darkness. The truth is buried in you. That's where it is. I love you. Please love me through that. But if there's one statement that I can say is that you and all of you, your diamond radiance, your star being, your purest form of nature, living itself with itself, is in the scars. And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And then fear honestly just stops messing with you because it's like, yeah, we can't get to her anymore. So we're just going to go on. But we alchemize it all. And when we do that, fear is no more. That playing field is done for everybody that we have ever lived with. And then think about this. Everything is lighter. Everything feels lighter. That's why the individual work is so important, because my love, you don't realize how many people that you have impacted in your life until you actually begin doing the work. And then you remember just how potent and powerful and miraculous each individual is when they decide to be. So I'm going to leave it there. I love you. I'm Jennifer Rene. This is Withinbyjen. It's within each and every one of us. It always, always has been. And I am off to the gym. I almost said I'm off to the races. That's actually what was in my mind. So I'm off to the races. I love you. The door is open. We've stepped through, I think I shared in the video the other day where I walked through the door and I looked back and the door that I walked through was concrete. There's no going back. And I know that seems crazy and daunting as the point of no return, the true trajectory change, or the change of habit, pattern, behavior that makes all things new. It is. Time is now. I love you. If you'd like to dive deeper, please visit my website, withinbyjen.com. I will leave the link below. If you'd like to dive deeper for a one-on-one or a group, that link will be work with me. All other services and offerings, artwork can be found on Withinbyjen and withinbyjen.com. And I think that's all for now. I love you. I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.